All set. Awesome. Afternoon, everyone. We would like to welcome Sahith Theegala to the Media Center here at the Arnold Palmer Invitational presented by Mastercard. So welcome. You are making your tournament debut.
Thank you.
Been able to go around the course and do 18 holes today. What are your initial thoughts and excitement for the week?
Gosh, I'm just obviously really happy to be here. Definitely a special vibe coming into this golf course and all the history and stuff behind it, and probably one of the purest courses I've ever played in my life too, so that helps. But yeah, really excited for the week, and the week off definitely made me hungry to get here. But the course is in incredible shape, and I watched the highlights from the last couple years to kind of get myself ready, and it looked really tough and crusty, so I'm ready for that too.
Like you said, with the week off, making your 13th start this season, but coming off 6 consecutive starts and just had a week off. How's your game feeling?
Yeah, feels really good. The week off definitely helped, kind of refresh the body. Got in the gym a little bit with my trainer, which is kind of new for me, so he's helping me a lot. And I definitely feel like my body is ready, which is one of the big things I think I'm going to need to focus on going into the future.
With that, we'll open up with questions, and just make sure you guys raise your hand, and we will get a microphone over to you. We're going to open it up here with Steve DeMegli.
What else did you do last week?
Let's see. So Monday, I don't think I saw outdoors. I was in my house the whole time. And then 3 days of golf maybe, and a lot of... I was in the gym a decent amount, and just had a couple dinners with buddies, and kind of just did normal stuff, which was nice. The times I played golf, I didn't even have like practice sessions, just kind of cruised around in a cart and played 9 or 18 holes.
And if you do look back to the WM Phoenix Open, what comes to mind?
Yeah, the first thing is obviously like all the support I got and hearing my name being chanted and having my family and friends out there. That's definitely, that was a really cool experience, and the fact that so many people were cheering for me is cool, but also the fact that I put myself in a really good spot to win the event, and obviously gave me a lot of confidence looking at the future events.
And now we'll go over here on the left.
This is Melissa Thomas with Florida National News. So,
Melissa.
Question for you. What do you normally do to mentally prepare for a match, and do you do anything particularly extra for this one, since this is your first Arnold Palmer Invitational?
Yeah, I think I'm still learning that as I go, because this is only my third invitational. But the Waste Management and Genesis back-to-back were definitely the biggest weeks, our best fields, biggest weeks I ever played in. And I didn't try and do anything differently, just tried to prepare as if it was a normal event. Obviously, depending on the conditions of the course, sometimes you need a little bit of extra work around the greens or in the rough, but just trying to treat it like another event and try and enjoy every minute of it, because pretty much every aspect of this tournament has been really cool so far, and it's just been Tuesday. So looking forward to the rest of the week, and no extra expectations or pressure or anything like that.
And we'll go in the middle.
Sahith, what's going on?
What's going on, brother?
You didn't drive here, I hope, right?
I was thinking about it. No, I'm not. No, flew here. It was actually an easy flight, 4 and 45 minutes.
Have you noticed in the past couple of weeks, has there been any kind of, you out in public, people recognize you, any kind of, celebrity moments since your big week in Phoenix?
Not really, because I think I did a good job of kind of keeping it down low this last week. At the golf course, I think they were really great, just respecting kind of my privacy. But I was happy to meet people and take pictures and stuff, but nothing, I don't think anything in public yet. I'm trying to think. Just at like my golf course, the couple golf courses I played at when I was back home, and then even out here in the restaurant yesterday. But I'm eating like a quarter mile away from the course for dinner, so nothing yet.
So like any autographs or photos or anything like that?
No, I think not yet. Not yet. Like I said, I've been pretty low key. Haven't really done a lot of things since. I guess playing Riv after Waste Management kind of got me over the... I bet if I went back home right after Waste, it might have been a little bit worse, but no, nothing yet.
Awesome, thanks.
And then right behind Brentley.
When you hear the word Arnold Palmer and you hear the name, what comes to mind?
Yeah. One thing, obviously, I never got the honor to meet Mr. Palmer, but one thing everyone has said about him is just how much of a gentleman he is, and how much he kind of went out of his way to make you feel like just, you know, one of his buddies and stuff like that. And then obviously seeing all the umbrellas kind of brings back good memories of watching old Mr. Palmer highlights, and obviously his slogan of playing boldly, which you definitely need to do out here. But yeah, those are the first couple things I think of.
And when you go to a course you don't know and you're trying to figure it out, what role does seeing a few videos play for you?
Sorry, can you repeat that question?
I think at the front where you said you were watching some videos of last year.
Oh, yeah.
Some clips of last year. How much does that help you in trying to start to learn a golf course?
It was pretty nice. I think it was just more the merit of taking a week off and just getting hungry again for the game, because I usually don't do that, but I was just like, man, I want to see like what I'm getting myself into for next week. Obviously I watched this tournament a lot as a kid, and all those Tiger putts and even the Rory putt, all that stuff I've watched a lot of times out here. But that was actually pretty cool to see how the course played during the weekend. Luckily I have a experienced caddy on my bag and Carl Smith, and he's been a huge help for me this whole year, because he's been to all these courses and seen them in different conditions, different times with different players. So he's been really great in an aspect of, so I don't have to overdo it when I get here.
We're going to go over here to the left and then over to Bob.
Kathy Bissell with Pro Golf Now. What have been the 2 or 3 most surprising things that you have found playing as a PGA Tour player versus before that?
Yeah, I think one thing is just how incredible the conditions of the courses are week in and week out. I think it's so easy to take for granted. You just kind of expect it to be good, but when you really sit back and look at the golf courses and what these superintendents and guys are doing, I mean, it's pretty incredible what they're doing with just perfect fairways, perfect greens, perfect bunkers, you name it. So that's been really cool. And then I think just how easy like the whole system has been for the players in terms of courtesy cars, like player dining. Like, it's been pretty stress-free once we actually get to the event and got a spot picked out to stay. It's been really good. I can see how like some guys get spoiled out here.
And now over to Bob.
Just curious, after coming so close and being in the heat there, obviously the whole week, and you were close in the fall too.
Yeah.
What do you take from those experiences? Is there something you reflect on that you feel like I didn't do this right, or that you learned from to help you, when that opportunity comes again?
Yeah, I think the first one at Sanderson, I really did play well that last round. I had 2 bad swings on 10 and 11 with 7-iron that I blocked just a hair. And I think on a couple of those shots, I just didn't take, an extra second, an extra breath, or even walking up to the tee a second slower. I did feel like I was starting to rush a little bit. The adrenaline was kind of getting to me. And I think going off of that experience, I did a much better job at waste, just kind of going through my routine. I was actually being really deliberate with the way I walk and even set up to the ball on my drives, kind of just being a little bit slower, taking a little deeper breath, because I've always been a pretty quick player and my tendency is to get quicker. So I think both of the rounds, and both of the Sundays I had the lead, I think I shot 1 under the final day. So not playing fine, just a couple things that went wrong both times that I think can be attributed to maybe a lack of experience, but also just, you're going to hit bad shots during a course of the week. And I think I just hit a couple bad shots at the wrong time. And obviously the great players find a way to hit great shots when they need to.
And up front with Doug.
If you go back to September when you started, do you recall what kind of objectives or goals you set for the year or for the season?
Gosh, it all moved so fast during that time of the year. I was just so happy to have a schedule and play some events, but I learned pretty quickly that Korn Ferry graduate status is not very good and that you really need to play well those first few events in the fall. But yeah, it all happened so quickly from getting into Korn Ferry finals by 3 points, I think the margin was. So I was just thankful to be there. And then I was like, okay, might as well try and make the most out of it. And I did. Played great in Korn Ferry finals last 2 events. And then kind of just keeping that same mindset for all the tour events. Like, oh, I have this insanely great opportunity. Might as well try and take advantage of it. And I think not setting any concrete expectations and stuff like that has been really good for me.
If you didn't, and then maybe this is a moot question, but have you found your outlook change at all post Sanderson, post Phoenix, things like that?
No, I think I'm still trying to do the same thing and get better. Even if it's 0.0001% better every day, week, hour, whatever it is. I think as long as I'm focused on that, and my team's obviously helped me get to this point too. But as long as I'm focused on that kind of progression, and I'm not too worried about the expectations, I think just the work that's being put in is gonna show.
And then lastly, as a observer of the game from when you were in high school and college, what have you taken note of what Jordan Spieth did in 2013, what Colin has done when he came out, Matt Wolff, and how quickly they've risen? And does it give you any thoughts about there's no need to wait, my time can come whenever it comes?
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. I don't think there's a certain time period that you should be restricting yourself to allow yourself to play well or whatever. But obviously we've seen guys hit their peaks in their late 30s, early 40s, and then guys hit peaks like Spieth and Colin and Victor. And I think it's really easy to look, especially for someone my age, really easy to look at, Sam Burns, Will Zalatoris, all these young guys that have had a lot of success right away on tour, like Colin, Victor. And it's easy to think of that and try and compare yourself to them and kind of rob you of some of the, just being on tour itself is a great accomplishment, but doing what they've done is pretty rare. I mean, there's not a lot of people that do that, and only the top guys in the world end up doing stuff like that. So it's really great to see, because those are guys that I've played with pretty much my whole life in junior and college career. So knowing that, the transition from that amateur golf to pro golf, they were able to do it. So yeah, kind of like, okay, why not? Why shouldn't I be able to do it too? But what those guys did is definitely pretty special.
We're going to go in the back here.
Yeah, given what you accomplished, do you feel like, I know you're not trying to inspire your brethren, but do you feel like maybe other sponsors' exemptions might look at it and be like, there are possibilities beyond what maybe they imagined? Definitely.
I mean, even like watching Martin last week at the Honda. I know he Monday qualified in, but that was so cool to see. And golf's such a fickle game. You never know when you're going to get hot. And everybody, whether it's the guys I played with the mini tours last year, the talent level is there. It's just there. It's just waiting kind of the right time, right moment, kind of getting that one bounce or one break or one round, whatever it might be. It's cool. Hopefully people take inspiration from some of the stuff I was able to do, but they've also, played a lot of golf with me and know that talent level is there. It's just kind of figuring out your own formula to get there.
And John Pock, I mean, he's here on sponsors, and you've crossed paths with him plenty. What do you think of what he could make of it, maybe?
He's obviously a really good player. What he did in college his senior season, he was super dominant, and been lucky enough, actually played with him. It was my junior year at regionals. I think he was a freshman, and I'm pretty sure he waxed me that event. So he's obviously got a lot of game, and I think it was a pretty big spotlight because he kind of swept the awards this year too, the Haskins, Hogan, and Nicklaus, and I did that in 2020, and he was just asking me some stuff about like how the transition was and all that, because I think there were so many eyes on him, and hopefully he wasn't feeling too much pressure or anything, and hopefully he's just enjoying the whole process. But I think he's going to have a breakout week one of these weeks for sure, and if not, he's probably going to get his card through the Korn Ferry. He's a really good player, and I'll be rooting for him this week.
We're going to go back over to Brentley, then to the back.
When you look at the past few years, with your wrist injury and that keeping you out for a year, and then when you turn pro, in the middle of COVID, how has all that kind of adversity and overcoming that, how has that shaped you? And do you feel like you're more appreciative of where you're at now because of that?
Yeah, you hit it right on the head there. Obviously being injured, especially an injury like that I've never dealt with in my life, not being able to play tournament golf for 10 months, it kind of it gave me a different perspective. I just found out that, hey, life's not golf and golf's not life, and that I had a lot of great people behind me no matter what I do in life, and that was definitely a perspective change for me. And sure enough, after I came back from the injury, along with a few swing changes to help my body out a little bit. It was the best golf I ever played. And I think a lot of that was mindset related for sure.
And now over in the back corner.
I was looking up on the screen today, and Golf Channel had a discussion going on, and the on-screen graphic said, "When will the stars start winning again?" And I wondered what you thought of that, if you saw that in the locker room or in your hotel room, and you see that type of dialogue going on, considering all of the first-time winners and the up-and-comers that are doing so well, like yourself.
So what was I actually haven't seen it. What was the
When will the stars start winning again? I think they're talking about the established players.
Okay. I haven't even noticed. I know that 4 of the last 5 winners were first-time winners, but I feel like the stars are still they're gonna have their time. I mean, they're the top 10 guys in the world for a reason, and obviously Victor's won a few times worldwide recently. I think he won like 3 out of 4 starts at one point to start the year. So I think it's just a matter of time before they start winning. But that's interesting. That's interesting because I feel like a lot of I don't know. I mean, like a guy like Will Zalatoris comes to mind as a star, in my opinion. It doesn't mean he has to go out and win every week. That win's definitely coming for him soon. But yeah, it's interesting.
It's a very subjective topic, and
Sure.
I just wondered what you thought when being looked past, let's say, as a contender.
Sure. Yeah, I guess that's not how I would look at it when looking at that. I'd just be like, oh, that's an interesting point. Kind of shrug it off. But yeah, not looking too deep into something like that. But I mean, it's interesting.
And I believe that's all the questions we have. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us, and good luck this week.
Thanks, Haley. Thanks, guys.